Hey, welcome to the Swinetime Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Swinehart. And today we got a special guest with us, wrestler, great student, all around good guy, Nathan Barker. Welcome to the
Yeah,
show.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. So Nathan grew up 15 minutes from where I grew up in the heartland of wrestling, one of the heartlands. We're one of the top three states usually in wrestling, right behind Pennsylvania.
And I think New Jersey.
New Jersey's up there, and I'd say Iowa. So maybe we're in the top four. It depends. Iowa had Dan Gable from there. And Nate just got out of high school, and he's going to go wrestle in college at Lourdes University, and that's up in Toledo. So you're going to have a lot of tough.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. And in high school, what weight class were you?
So starting off as a freshman, I was in 145. And then sophomore year, I wrestled up to 65 because I had a senior at where I was going to go. And then I wrestled 50 my junior year and 57 my senior year.
So 157. So for those of you who don't know, who aren't familiar with the weight classes, that's kind of like the middleweight division. And all those weight classes have very athletic people. So even as a freshman, you were 145, so you're already pretty big, And now going into college, what weight class are you looking to?
So I'm gonna go in at 165, hopefully. Okay. But I don't know if they have a 175 or any open spots that I could take.
Yeah,
I'm hoping to go 165, and I don't want to cut as much, so.
Yeah,
I'll probably just stay about that.
That works, man. I think that works. The Olympic, I've mentioned this guy to you a lot, and Doug Blubaugh, the 1960 Olympic world champion, gold medalist in the Olympics. Doug Blubaugh was 160. I think he was 164.5, and he never cut any weight. He was strong.
That's how a lot of colleges do it now. They don't want you to cut much weight unless you're in D1.
Yeah,
because it just makes your energy level so low you can't wrestle, right?
Yeah, because actually the D1 wrestlers, I've talked to a few of those guys, and they say it's like a job. And back when I was in high school, back in the late 90s, 1998, there was several college wrestlers from Michigan who they cut too much weight and died.
Yeah,
and
I've seen some stuff like that.
Yeah, so since then they've cut back on that, and I've always kind of agreed with that strategy. I would cut a little bit of weight, but I always felt like, man, you could cut too much and it'd be risky. And, you got to keep it fun because, we're trying to win and everything. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's still fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have a lot of stuff in place now for that. They have hydration. They ban using trash bags and sauna suits during practice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know about the hydration stuff. So you just go. You pee in a cup basically, and then they dip a little stick in it to see if you're hydrated or not. And then you go and they pinch you with this little tool. They pinch you on your back here, on your stomach, on your tricep.
Yeah, that's the
body fat. And then they'll give you a paper to see what you weighed in at and all the weight you can cut in like a week.
Wow.
So like I would usually get around like 8s and 9s when I got pinched, maybe 10s. And then it would tell me my body fat percentage, or tell my coaches my body fat percentage, and then how much weight I can lose. So I could lose like 1.5 pounds a week until like this certain week, which then I would stop, and then it would tell me my minimum weight I was allowed to wrestle.
Whoa, that's interesting. They do that's pretty cool. I didn't know about the pee in the cup thing. Now I've always known about the people check their body fat with that, but I didn't know that the high schools were going into that.
Yeah, so all high schools just go into one school. For us it's Piqua, and then they do all that. They call it by school or by weight class,
and they do that at the beginning of the year, or
before any matches start.
I actually kind of like that because it keeps people from going overboard, and especially like when you have hardcore coaches or hardcore parents, they'll push their kids. I mean,
they'll make you cut.
They'll make you cut. Man, we had this kid on our team named Fragile, and he was like a twig, and everybody kept pushing him to get down to 103 pounds. And he was called Fragile because he was so skinny. He's always breaking his bones. And like, it was weird because he had to keep losing weight to make 103, but our heavyweight could eat whatever he
wanted.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. But well, that's great. And then this year you went to state at 157 pounds.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what were your because West Milton is known for good wrestlers. I mean, you've always had state champions there.
Well, we had one state champ, and we've had a good few placers.
Oh, so Joe Creech, was he your only state champ?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
but we've had Jeff Penny, who got second 3 times.
Okay.
So, I mean, I wrestled with him before, and he's crazy.
He's crazy. Mm-hmm. Is he in college? Did he go to college or?
Yeah. I don't know which college he went to, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure he went for wrestling, but I don't know which one.
Okay, man. So you're getting ready to go into to college now. You already been to state. What was your kind of favorite couple moves in high school? Takedowns or?
Well, I always went to the head outside high crotch.
Okay.
Simple one. I always went to double leg if I had to.
Yeah. The basics.
Yeah, basic. I mean, that's all you need, really. And then this one or two occasional stunty move that gets them off guard.
Okay. Yeah, they say basics. I mean, it doesn't matter how many years go by. Now, the moves evolve a little bit, change, like people I've noticed. But even since the time I was in high school, I mean, it's the single leg, the high crotch, it's the double leg. It's kind of a lot of the same moves, and I feel like in another 100 years it'll still be
changing. There'll be new moves. There'll be
I
mean, there's millions.
There's kind of variations on moves that are already there. Like there was the single leg, regular single leg, and then John Smith started working on the low single leg, and then that kind of changed things. And I think that going into college, we've gotten to practice a few times together over the summer, and I think your front headlock is coming a long way. Your tilts, your turns. Your your escapes. I feel like you have a strong build already, like your frame, and I think that a lot of it's going to be your position, stance, good motion, and all that. So, what are some of the stuff that you got going on to train now that you just got out of school and you're ready to take it to the next level? What's some of your kind of mindset and your strategies and your workout routines?
So with that, I usually lift at least 3 times a week, maybe 4, depending, and then wrestling almost every day.
Yeah.
Not too high intensity, not going for 3 hours like some people.
Yeah.
Just like not normal, like high school where we wrestle for 2 hours straight. Yeah. It's more just hour and a half, than some lifting. Not as intense. I still eat what I want.
Yeah.
So I don't usually start cutting until around late August, mid-September. And that's not even a hard cut. That's just cutting back, not eating all junk food.
Right.
It's just less intense than what it was. It's like the same stuff during high school, during actual wrestling season, but it's just less intense.
Yeah, it's like a little break. It's like, because when you're in the season, it's all go. And that's why I kind of feel like the off season's a little bit of time to recover your body, right? Because the wear and tear, like I remember my neck would always be right during the season. So in the off season, you kind of do need a little bit, or it's good to have a little rehabilitation to kind of work on some things. And also, the summer is a good time to work on your technique, kind of be a student of the sport, right? Yeah. Because you have a little more time to do that.
Yeah, and then there's open tournaments that you go to in the summer. Just see some different people. You're not wrestling the same kids over and over again every year.
And the great thing about wrestling in the summer is you're going up against tough guys because
they want to do it.
They want to do it. It's not just, okay, well, I don't have anything to do this winter. I'll join the wrestling team. Yeah. These guys are like, no, I want to go to the Olympics, man. Yeah. I want to be the toughest guy in Ohio. I want to be the toughest. I want to go from – you'll find guys from other states coming through.
Yep.
And that's what, Coach Dehart always had that saying. He said, summer wrestler, you wrestle in the summer to be a champion in the winter.
Yep.
And because wrestling season's in the winter, and if you're training in the summer,
and you're just getting better.
You're getting better. So
you're staying in shape.
You're staying in shape, because it's easy to go out and hang out with your friends and this. And you see a lot of times like people who might have better talent get lazy.
Yeah.
And once they get lazy, they get caught by people who have less talent
that they shouldn't lose to. Yeah.
But the guy who has less talent, who's out there every day working to improve and get better, can catch them. And that's one thing I love about wrestling is because it's an independent sport.
Yep. It's more about how much effort you put in.
How much effort you put in. And you might stink. You might be terrible to start with. But if you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you get better. It doesn't mean you're going to all of a sudden, but you can see people improve a lot from it. So, I mean, I'm excited for you, dude. I'm really like happy that, you know, you're going to college. You're going to, and I think that when, I think it will be, you know, when the going gets tough in college, because I think I mean, I think that there's going to be hard practices, hard matches, right? Because all the fish are done. There's no more
the people that are good enough to go to college.
All the fish are finished at this point. They're never coming back. Even guys that are awesome that can't keep their grades up are gone. Right?
Or people that don't want to go to college.
People that don't want to go to college. You got a lot of state champions that are just like, no, I'm going to be a welder and I'm gonna make $50 an hour and I'm not gonna waste my money at college because I'm a welder, right? So you got guys like that aren't in it anymore, but you still have all the fish aren't gonna, they're finished. So it's no more of like, oh, good, I got an easy match. I'll pin this guy in like 20 seconds, right? Yeah. I mean, you can still pin somebody in 20, but it'd be hard at college. So but I think that, you know, being you know, at a different age bracket than you and looking back on my life, I could give you some advice that I think is that you have this short, brief time where you get to do this, dude. And then your whole rest of your life will be moved on.
Yeah.
And then to put it all in now, no matter how hard it is, no matter how rough the practices are, no matter what kind of a beast you got to go up against, it's like, just keep going, because once these next 4 years, just like high school, man, now high school's over. All those 4 years, man, it came to a pinnacle where you made the state tournament. Well, you get to take that with you everywhere you go, no matter what life, you know, faces you. You know, if you're going into nursing, you got some patient on your thing and this, man, I can focus. I was arrested. I went to state, right? You know, and I take that with me everywhere. If I see it, if I'm in front of a tough crowd, I'm like, I went to state, man. I could shoot a single leg on any of these guys. You know, like, don't laugh. I don't care. I can score a single leg on you. So I think that's kind of, you know, I would say, man, I really think that if you just kind of keep going on the way you're going, you're on the right direction. And if you just focus and know, man, no matter how it is, I'm going to make it through these 4 years. I'm going to get my hand raised at different points, you know, and focus on the wins. And, you know, if you have tough matches and you just learn from it. It happens, dude. I mean, we've seen,
everyone's had a match where they should have won.
Yeah. Everybody.
They shouldn't have won.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all had one. We should have won that we didn't win. Shouldn't have won that we won. And, you know, a lot of times it's matchups with who you're against. But a lot of wrestling, surprisingly to people, is mental.
Yeah.
You know, that the average eye watching a match would say, oh, that guy looks stronger than that guy. He must be. Nah. It's
about who wants it more.
Who wants it more? Who has it's like D Hart said with the clean your room story to me, who has their life in order, you know, and who has, and for you, I feel like you're pretty smart. You got good grades. You already went to Edison. I mean, you've already got a degree from Edison that I'm still working to get, you know? So
it's different. I think the college that I did in high school was easier than high school itself. In my opinion.
Probably is true. I could believe that.
I mean, I had 4 or 5 classes to do once a week. I'd go to one class a week, and then I had the rest of the day or the rest of the week to just finish the homework instead of 7 classes in 7 hours.
So, you know what? Let's explain this real quick. So, Nate, there's a college in the town near us, and they have classes for high school students to kind of move ahead. The kind of, I mean, but you're already accelerated if you get into that program, because I don't think they let
I think you just have to take a test.
Okay.
And then you just get in.
And then, so instead of just taking the regular high school classes, you got to take
college
classes.
So most people just do it online. I drove there because I just don't do online classes.
That's good. Good for you.
I always have something wrong with my computer or something.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you're out in the country somewhere. Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just go there. I had one class a week for like an hour and a half. Occasionally you'll have the really crappy classes that are 2.5, 3 hours long, but those are still manageable. Then you just do the work, you get out, then you go home. I got home at like noon at the latest and just did homework. Then, just sat around it. I mean, it's easy. I hear all these people having AP classes with getting the same credits that I got. And I was like, man, I just read this book. I mean, I really had a comic book to read. It's called a graphic novel, but I mean, it was still a picture. It was more like in a comic.
And that's what your class had?
Yeah, it was what my Comp 2 class was like that.
Wow.
And there's a lot of high schoolers that do that, and they just get free college credit because you don't have to pay for it. The school pays for it.
Well, that's a good deal. I mean, that's like,
I don't know why more people don't do it.
I think they would.
Yeah, it's easy.
I mean, I think maybe that was just kind of starting when I was in high school, but I wasn't even aware of it. But, I've been taking some online classes, and to me, it's a lot of propaganda in those books. And I don't know. I kind of wonder.
It depends on what teacher you get,
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of look at it and I'm like, man, I'm thinking, man, if I was 19, man, would I be like I'm reading this stuff? I'm like, this is nonsense, dude. This is a business class, and you're trying to push global warming on me. I'm like, I don't need that. So
especially in the comp classes is when where you get most of it, and then it just depends on what class you get. Yeah. I mean, sociology, you'll get it. Humanities, you'll get it.
Yeah, I had psychology. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. So, well, man, we're excited for you, dude. So when do you start school? When does school start, and then when does your season start?
So I move in on the 17th of August.
All right.
Then school starts the 18th. Yep.
Wow.
And then wrestling starts September 20th, 30th.
Wow. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking out for you. I'm going to keep you guys updated. You don't use social media, right, Nate? Or do you?
No, not really. No.
Don't use social media if you got bigger.
You got too much to worry about.
Hey, man, when you got a 165-pounder coming at you in college wrestling, you don't have time to be scrolling social media. I learned that even recently at a practice. I was arguing with some guy on social media, and I had to go practice, and some dude arm chopped me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what I get for not being focused on wrestling. And I go into practice. I'm like, this guy just hurt me way worse than this other dude on social media could ever hurt me. In fact, I would trash the guy, when it'd be like a train running over a mouse, the dude arguing with me on social media. But then I go and get my arm chopped. Like, oh, it hurts so bad. But dude, well, congrats. We can't wait to follow your success. And we've gotten to practice a couple of times this year, and I'm really excited for you and happy for you. And we're about at that time where we end. Thank you guys for watching the podcast today. Make sure that if you hit the like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. Let's follow our friend Nathan as he goes on. And this is very motivational to have a guy from our area going up to next level, stepping his life up, not just wrestling, but your whole life, because, I believe sports and wrestling in general just make you a tougher person all around. So that being said, Nate, what time is it?
Swine time.
It's swine time. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you on the next one.